learning life. It's a learning life for real. See what I did there? Hi everyone, I'm Tamika Brown. Welcome to It's a Learning Life for real. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and if you're not, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you joined me today. So on this channel, It's a Learning Life for real, I talk about all things personal and professional development. And in today's video, we're talking about personal and professional development goals. 7 strategies that you can use to crush your goals in 2022. So who is responsible for your personal and professional development? Is it your employer or is it you? Now, there's a commonly held belief that our employers are supposed to invest in us and to ensure that we have the tools we need to do our jobs, and also to equip us with training to ensure that we can perform at our best. And that's reasonable and fair. But what if your organization is not providing you with the opportunities you need to grow and develop? What then? You can't rely on your employer or your supervisor to be responsible for your training and development, because in a lot of instances when you get training on the job, some of those are mandatory trainings that are geared at your technical skills, and they're not necessarily geared at providing you with the additional learning support you need to perhaps improve in other areas such as leadership, your interpersonal skills, and so on and so forth. So yes, whereas you want to take advantage of the learning opportunities that your employer provides, you have to be proactively thinking, what are my needs? Where do I need to change and improve? And to identify opportunities that may not be available with your organization. And it could be that you're going to your supervisor and you're having a conversation with them and you're asking for assistance with paying for a training or course, and or you're deciding that you're going to go into your own pocket and you're going to pay for it yourself. Because the fact of the matter is, when you think about the environment around you, change is happening so quickly that in a lot of instances you have to ensure that you are prepared to do your job, and not just to do your job, but to perform at a high level. And in such instances, you might need to consider external learning and development opportunities to ensure that you are in a position to perform at your best. So if it is that you're going to be proactive about improving your skills, improving your performance, or learn additional skill, what are some ways that you can go about doing that? And I have 7 strategies that I'm thinking might be useful to you. And one of the first strategy that I'm going to suggest is that before you even get started thinking about what you need to change, how you need to learn and grow personally and professionally, you want to do a SWOT analysis. And SWOT is an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So this is really a self-assessment that you are going to do to look at, where do I have weaknesses that I need to improve? What are some of my strengths? What kinds of learning opportunities that can I take to help me to hone or play to my strengths? And what opportunities might there be for me to learn a new skill, improve my performance? And what threats exist right now in terms of how it is that I operate? And when you think about threats, think about perhaps those blind spots that you have, the things that you do that you're unaware of, the ways you show up that perhaps might be undermining your overall effectiveness. And the only way you know those is if you ask for feedback. So you want to do a SWOT analysis to find out, what are you particularly good at? What are some areas of weaknesses for you where you might need to learn a new skill or you may need to improve your performance? What are the opportunities for you to probably try something entirely different, acquire a new skill? And what are some of the things that are currently the threats that are undermining your performance? So do a SWOT analysis first up. The next thing you may want to do is to invest in continuing education. The truth of the matter is, whereas you can afford or you can find some options to learn and grow for free, I mean, one of the things that the pandemic has done is that it has opened up a whole lot of convenient opportunities for us to learn and develop from home. And for those of you who used to have to travel sometimes to international conferences, a lot of those conferences are being offered for free, so you don't have travel costs anymore. But outside of that, there are a lot of webinars, workshops, and things that you can participate in, and or it may be that you have to register in a program or a course, a certification or a course, because you may need to continue your education in a particular area. I'm thinking for those of us who work in the IT sector, you constantly have to be staying on track of your certifications and ensuring that when the updates and changes to technology come, that you're able to respond to them. And of course, this is not just IT. This also applies to other work areas as well. The other thing I'd recommend is that you attend YouTube University. For just about anything you want to learn, there is a huge variety of content on YouTube, whether it is book summaries, whether it's people showing you how to do skills, subject matter experts speaking on important topics. There are so many opportunities to learn on YouTube. I think that it's an underrated tool for learning, and it's you have an opportunity to spend some time going through YouTube and thinking through what you might want, find an area that you want to learn more about, and then just kind of going through and selecting, curating the content, finding content from credible people, and you can determine this by looking at the number of subscribers or views that a video has had, and so on and so forth, and just using that to further your own learning and development on demand and from the comfort of wherever you are, because that's the beauty of YouTube. The other thing you want to do is read. I can't say enough about reading. One of the ways that I primarily improve my own skills and keep relevant, and to ensure that I can even do any of this, is that I read a ton of books. And even if you're not a reader, you don't want to take up the physical book, you can read using the audio versions or the ebook versions. I mean, it's really convenient for you to read. Reading is hands down still remains an excellent way to read. And if it is that you're not the person who has time to sit down or the patience to sit down with the book, well, the next strategy is for you. Podcasts in the last couple of years have emerged as one of the number one ways that people can learn on the go. So the way how podcasts function, like I was growing up, you had radio stations and we spent endless amounts of hours just listening to programs on the radio, whether you were working, you were doing your chores, you were driving. Podcasts provide the same kind of flexibility and convenience. All you need to do is just choose a podcast that aligns with the area you want to learn. So like, for instance, I'm somebody who is heavily into management and leadership, so I will subscribe to the Harvard Business Review podcast or the Women in Leadership podcast, and I continue to learn by virtue of just listening to the podcast in the background while I'm actually doing my work. And even sometimes I do the same thing with YouTube. So you can find lots of podcasts depending on your area of interest that you can listen to, and that is going to help you to grow and develop. Another way that you can also seek to achieve your goals in 2022 is to volunteer. Volunteering on a project team at work, volunteering in your community, volunteering at church. Excellent ways to learn new skills, because in a lot of instances when you come together to work on a part of a committee, the members of the group, you're all learning together or you're executing that project, and it gives you an opportunity to perhaps do something that you wouldn't ordinarily do in your day job. So working on those committees or project teams at work, or volunteering at your children's school or at church or in your community, another excellent way for you to learn skills like project management, events planning, and so on and so forth. So I'll always say volunteer. It's a great way to learn, and it's a great way to serve and give back. Another strategy I'd recommend is, of course, following subject matter experts on your favorite social media. So most of us use Facebook and Twitter and Instagram to keep up, or to show the highlight reels of our lives, or just to keep up with what's happening in other people's lives. And that's okay, no judgment here. But you have an opportunity via these same social media sites, especially LinkedIn, to identify influencers or thought leaders or authors, people who are actively engaged in helping people grow and develop and sharing content. Follow them, because it's an excellent way to access training that they might be doing, get resources for free, get insights and information that will help you feel be current sorry, and so on and so forth. So these are all just a couple examples of ways that you can be intentional about your own personal professional development and not contract out something as vital as that to your supervisor or employer. You want to own your development. You want to think strategically and proactively about how can I grow and develop? Where do I see myself 5 years from now? And position yourself to be able to get the skills, get the knowledge, get the information that is going to help you to prepare for that. So those are 7 strategies that are going to be useful to you. I hope are useful to you. So remember to like, subscribe, and look out for the next video. Thank you for watching.